this is Leanne from Hand Spun Treasures, and today I will be doing a tutorial video on Tunisian crochet. Now, with Tunisian crochet, there are several different tools that can be used to do the same thing. Now, I have an interchangeable Tunisian crochet set here that comes with various sized needle or hooks, and then they come with these cables. Now, the cables come in very handy when you are making a project that is wider than just, like a foot or two. And it just gives you more flexibility. Pardon me, I have a little bit of a cold. Gives you a little more flexibility in what you can make. Now, here we have one type of double-ended crochet hook. This one particular one is bamboo, and it's 6 inches long. Now, the purpose of a double-ended hook is for Tunisian crochet in the round, which is a circle, just like it sounds. That's not what I'll be demonstrating in this video. I'll be demonstrating it in the straight or on the flat, which the technique is a little bit different and requires one ball of yarn only. But there are more than one type of double-ended crochet hook. There's aluminum ones that, in this particular one, it has the hook facing towards you on one side and away from you on the other side. And I personally like this type of hook for working in the round best. Now, with this interchangeable crochet hook set, now I have this one set up for working in the flat, which is what I'll be demonstrating in this video. But you can take off this little stopper here, and then if you have the same sized hook, which I don't have one right in front of me, but this will work for demonstration purposes, you can screw this onto the other end, and voila, you're set up for working in the round, just like you would be if you were doing circular knitting using a circular knitting needle. Now, I am going to show you how to set up for Tunisian crochet in this video, and I'm also going to show you the Tunisian Simple Stitch, which is a very common stitch used in Tunisian style crochet. Alright, so what you need is a hook. You can use, a double-ended hook. That there is no problem with that. You can use a regular old crochet hook if you're just doing a very small, like, swatch. You could very easily just use a crochet hook that has no cable at all. But I will be using this one that has the cable, though it won't be long enough to have the stitches actually go onto the cable. And then you need a ball of yarn. I have this hand spun that I made. I do most of my work with hand spun. Now, just like with crochet, the way you set up for Tunisian crochet is you make a slip knot and you insert your hook, pull that loop tight, and then you make a foundation chain. Now, tension your yarn however is comfortable for you, and if you are unfamiliar with crochet, the way you make a chain is you have the slip knot, then you yarn over the top of your hook and pull the hook through the loop, and you have made one chain. So you yarn over the top of your hook, turn it to where it's kind of facing down, and pull it through. And now you have two. And we'll go 3, yarn over the top, pull it through, 4, yarn over, pull it through, 5, and we'll end up with 15. Okay, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now, to create a nice edge, beginning edge on your project, okay, let me see if I can get my tablet here to focus in a little better on what I'm doing. Let's see. The chains have a front to them, and that kind of make like V's, and then there's a back to them where you have these little bumps along the back. And I'm not sure why this isn't wanting to focus for me. Ah, there we go. There we go. There's the bumps I was talking about along the back of the chain, and then the V's that are along the front. Now, to create a nice edge, you insert your hook into the second bump away from. So this bump here is actually this stitch. So you'll go into the second one and insert your hook under that, yarn over, and pull up a loop. And then we'll do that again. Stick the hook through that bump, yarn over, pull up a loop. And we'll continue to work this way until we have picked up all the stitches that we'll be using. And, you know, as you make them, you just slide them down the hook. It's perfectly fine on the foundation row to use whatever means necessary to get the hook under that loop, because these chains tend to like to tighten up as you get further down, closer to the beginning, which is why, generally speaking, chains are made with bigger hooks. Now, sometimes it can be difficult to figure out where the back is, but if you stretch it out and then kind of let it loose, the bump will sort of make itself evident, and then you can just insert your hook underneath and pull up your loop. And then, let's see, straighten it out again. And then, oops. Yeah, see, here. I'm trying to show you, and it's being difficult with me too. So we'll just pick up these. It's perfectly normal, or at least I believe so, to have the chain stitches start getting almost deformed as you go along. Alright, so we're almost to the end here. Come on, go in. There we go. And then we'll count. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 stitches on our hook. Now, with this, it's like if you were doing standard crochet, you wouldn't have any live stitches. They would all just be closed, and you could turn your work over and go. Well, to be able to work on the second row with Tunisian crochet, what you do is you yarn over and you pull through one loop, and you have worked off that first stitch on your hook. And then you yarn over again and you pull through 2 loops. And from now on, you will be yarning over and pulling through 2 loops. It's just the first stitch where you go through 1. So, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 loops until you get to the end. Alright, now that we're back at the beginning of our work, we'll start on the second row and I will show you the Tunisian Simple Stitch. Now, because we already have a loop on our hook, we don't need to work this first stitch. We'll insert our hook. Okay, now let's see if I can zoom in a little bit here so that you can see what I'm talking about. There is a front leg to the stitch, and then on the back there's a back leg to the stitch. Now, let's see, there's the front leg, and then there's the back leg here. You want to insert your hook under that front leg, and you'll yarn over and you'll pull up a loop. So you insert your hook, yarn over, and pull it through. And now you have 3 loops, and you've worked 3 new stitches. So, yarn over, pull up a loop. See, there's a reason it's called the Tunisian Simple Stitch, is because it's pretty simple. Just insert your hook under that front leg, and there again, you know, using your fingers or whatever helps get that hook under the leg is you do what you gotta do. And yarn over, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull up a new loop. So, we'll get these. Now, if you're a crocheter who's never done this before, it may feel very strange at first to have loops under your fingers. I promise that feeling, that weird feeling, does go away. If you're a knitter who's trying to learn a different craft, then, you know, the loops being under your fingers it's like normal for you. Okay, now I am to the 14th stitch and I'm pulling up that loop. Now when we get to this last stitch where we only brought the yarn through 1 loop, it can be kind of confusing to determine where that stitch is. The front leg of that stitch is right here. So you insert your hook under there, and then from the back, you can see where your closing chain is. That's where you'll see like a bump, like when we picked up the stitches from the bumps of the chains. And that's what you want to see. So then you'll yarn over and you'll pull up a loop. And you can see here that already from the first row, your work actually is starting to look like something. You can see the crossbar, and you can see the closing chain, which just makes for a really pretty effect. So let's do the closing chain one more time and work off these loops that we have here. So again, we'll yarn over once, and then we'll pull through one loop, and that first stitch is worked off. And then we'll yarn over and we'll pull through 2 loops. Pardon me. And then again, we'll yarn over and we'll pull through 2 loops. Now, other people may call this something else. I call it a closing chain. But whatever it is, it gets the job done, and it looks really cool. And that's what's most important, right? So yarn over, and then turn that hook face down, and pull through 2 loops. If you happen to yarn over and pull through 3 loops and don't notice right away, you can, or if you do notice right away, we'll do that. We'll pull it through 2 loops and say, oh my goodness, I just went through 2 loops when I should, or 3 loops when I should have only gone through 2. You just slide your hook back through, and then you yarn over. Now, say you don't catch it right away. Say you get to here and you go through 3 loops, and then oh my gosh, you're on your closing chain, or you're finished your row, and here you have these 2 stitches that are together. Well, you could go back because it's right at the end there, or you could insert your hook under that and then insert it under the other one, so you would still have the same number of stitches, and it wouldn't necessarily be noticeable that there wasn't a closing chain, like 2 separate closing chains in there. But if you are that close to the end of the work, I do recommend that you go back, because it can affect the width and consistency of your work, and just like cause it to pull in on itself. So fix when you can. But if you don't happen to notice it and it's in like the middle of your row or something, so we'll do one more row of simple stitch where you insert your hook under, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Insert your hook under, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Insert that hook through the front leg, yarn over, and pull up a loop. And then we'll just work our way across the row till we get to the end. And when we get to that last stitch, the leg at the very, very end of the row is where you want to insert your hook under. and then yarn over and pull up a loop. And there is the start of your pretty piece of Tunisian Crochet Simple Stitch. Thanks for watching.